22 minutes into the programme. German police have arrested a suspect in last week's bomb attack on the Borussia Dortmund football team. Prosecutors say the man, who's been identified as a 28-year-old with German and Russian nationality, was apparently motivated by financial greed. Let's go live now to Berlin, where RT's Negara Islam is following this story. Some very interesting developments here, Negara. Like this attack, it shook the sporting world, didn't it? And now we're hearing that it wasn't so much a terror attack as a financial one.
Yes, it certainly did shock the sporting world, and I think the rest of the international community, because it was such an unusual attack. The suspect has been arrested by German special forces, a 28-year-old man named as Sergei W. of German-Russian national. Now, he was suspected of allegedly carrying out a triple bomb attack on a bus that was transporting the players and staff of Borussia Dortmund Football Club on the 11th of April. Now, the man in question, he supposedly packed 3 explosives full of shrapnel and planted them en route that the bus was taking from the hotel to the stadium. What's particularly interesting about this case is, as you mentioned before, originally the investigators thought that there might be links to terrorism, but that was thrown out of the window, and now the investigators are looking as a motive of greed. And the reason why I say that is the man in question, he actually stayed at the same hotel as the football players the night before the match. And during that evening, he actually bought an online package of shares of a value of 15,000 shares. And if we can equate that in terms of finances to 78,000 euro. Now, if something had happened to those shares, for example, if they had gone down in price dramatically, had one of the players been injured or killed, he's said to have he would have been able to make a substantial profit. And actually, the Federal Criminal Police Office have put a potential profit of 3.9 million euro that he could have made. So you can see that the reasons why they're looking at finances as a potential motive. Other details are coming out now, very suspicious details, more and more. And the hotel staff, according to them, said that the suspect was given a room, but he insisted on having a different room with the view of the street. And also, this is a very interesting fact, when the explosion went off and hotel staff and guests were running around, apparently he stayed in the restaurant and ordered a steak. And finally, the investigators have also relieved that this 28-year-old man, he's said to have won a school award in electronics and business engineering back in July 2015, and apparently his knowledge was well above average in the field of electrical engineering. So the investigation is obviously ongoing, and those are the details so far.
Yeah, the details are just simply incredible at this stage, aren't they? Negara Islam bringing us right up to date with that story. Thank you very much. Now, viewers across America have networks like CNN, Fox News and MSNBC in the crosshairs over fake news reports. US regulators have been inundated by complaints highlighting people's anger with the mainstream media. Let's give one example here. Fox News interviewed a Swedish defense expert who turned out to be fake and unknown to the country. The channel was forced to apologize. Well, to stem the flow of fake news, some internet search engines and social media sites introduce monitoring tools, but these news checkers are themselves being criticized. The Chicago Tribune newspaper said it was hit hard by new Facebook rules, alleging that up to a third of their posts have been marked as false.
Remember when Facebook launched its fake news detector?
If you suspect a news story is fake, you can report it. It just takes a few taps. Your report helps us track and prevent fake news from spreading.
Well, it was a great idea. After all, let's not forget, fake news is everywhere.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news. Hope endorsing Trump? Fake.
But the social network's algorithm came under scrutiny, to say the least. I mean, who's going to decide which news is fake and which is not? And it looks like the first victim in this crusade is a U.S. daily newspaper, the Chicago Tribune.
While seeing a constant increase in readers, the paper lost a major part of its online traffic. The Tribune's editor claims Facebook's algorithm isn't surfacing 1/3 of the paper's posts.
So, is anyone else experiencing this situation? And if so, does anyone know why and how to compensate? Because if 1 of 3 Facebook posts isn't going to be surfaced by the algorithm to a significant degree, that would change how we play the game.
Kurt Gessler also spotted that the timing of the decline in his readers curiously coincided with Facebook launching their new algorithm, designed to show more authentic and timely stories. According to the reports, the change was introduced to separate real news from the fakes. Perhaps a warning, perhaps a cry for help. Either way, it's clear that the battle over fake news still doesn't have a clear and working initiative. Miguel Francis Santiago, RT.
Coming right up, the story of a professional hitman who worked for Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar.